Two adjacent angles form a straight line. One of the angles is 4 more than 10 times the other angle. What is the degree measurement of the smaller angle? Let's go. Now you'll notice this problem is curiously missing a diagram, and whenever you're missing a diagram, you really ought to draw one. It's going to help you visualize and place all the information that they're handing you in the problem. We're talking about two adjacent angles that form a straight line. That might sound complicated, but it's really not. Two adjacent angles that form a straight line would look something like this. You've got one angle here, and an adjacent angle. What that means is it shares a side here, and together they form a straight line. Okay, so those are my two adjacent angles that form a straight line. And it says one of the angles is 4 more than 10 times the other angle. Now maybe you can't quite piece that exactly together yet, but it's pretty clear that what they're saying is one of the angles is bigger than the other, right? We'll just take that as a basic point. One of the angles is somehow more than the other. So the smaller angle, I'm gonna label that one as X, okay? And it says one of the angles, let's read this more carefully now, is 4 more than 10 times the other angle. Well, my other angle here, so to speak, that was what we called X. So the other angle is X. And 10 times the other angle would therefore be 10x. Okay, so we've kind of pieced part of this language together. But we say it's not just 10 times x, it's 4 more than 10 times x. So if I want to do 4 more than this, what do? I have to add 4. So let's read that information one more time. It's 4 more than 10 times the other angle. So what I do is 10 times x, that's the other angle, and then I add 4 to it. And now we've translated that expression into an algebraic expression. So we've got our picture here, and we see one of our angles is x, that's the smaller one, and then the other one is 4 more than 10 times x. But now what? What do? Well, the key realization here is to remember something that you've learned. How many degrees are in a straight angle? In a straight angle, you have 180 degrees of rotation. So what that means is from here to here, there's 180 degrees of rotation. What that means is if I took a ray here and started here and rotated it over, it takes 180 degrees of rotation to reach the other side of that straight line. So to rotate from here to here is 180 degrees. So one thing that means is if I've got two different angles that make up that 180 degrees, they have to add up to 180. So for example, if this was 60, then this part over here would have to be 120. And the reason I would know that is those two together have to add up to 180 degrees. Well, let's apply that to our problem. These two angles make a straight angle. What that means is that this angle, which is 10x plus 4, and this angle, which is x, have to add up to 180 degrees. I don't know about you, but that sounds to me like an equation. That means I could say that 10x plus 4 plus x, all those angles added up, have to equal 180 degrees. And now we have an algebra problem to solve. Okay, let's start by combining like terms. We've got a 10x and an x. So I'm gonna write that as 11x plus 4 is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, now we're solving for x, so we wanna isolate x by getting rid of all the other numbers. We'll subtract 4 over here. So we've got 11x is therefore equal to 176 because we subtracted 4. And now we've got to divide both sides by 11 to get rid of that 11. So let's do that. The 11's gone on the left. Let's divide on the right. When we divide 176 by 11 on the right, that gives you 16. So we've got x is therefore equal to 16. Now let's make sure we're answering the question correctly. It said, what's the degree measurement of the smaller angle? Well, let's look at our picture. Our smaller angle was x. So that means x is really the answer to this problem. It means the smaller angle here is 16 degrees. So our answer is A, and if you got it, great thinking.